President Cyril Ramaphosa has appointed Justice Dunstan Mlambo as the Deputy Chief Justice of the Republic of South Africa. In a statement, the President states that the appointment is in accordance with Section 174 of the Constitution. Mlambo will assume his new role with effect from tomorrow, Friday the 1st of August. Judge Mlambo has since November 2012 served as Judge President of the Gauteng Division of the High Court of South Africa. President Ramaphosa says he has informed Chief Justice Mandisa Maya that in appointing Justice Mlambo, the President has considered the views of the Judicial Services Commission and the views of political parties represented in the National Assembly. The President has also expressed to the Chief Justice his appreciation for the transparent, inclusive and robust process undertaken by the JSC. Now, Elton Hart of the University of Johannesburg's Law Clinic joins us now for his reaction. Mr. Hart, a very good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us and a warm welcome to the late edition.
Good evening and good evening to the viewers.
Now, first of all, Mr. Hart, we see President Ramaphosa citing Section 174 of the Constitution in appointing Justice Dunstan Mlambo. Now, from a constitutional law perspective, does this appointment meet both the letter and the spirit of that provision, particularly with respect to public participation and transparency?
No, indeed. If one looks at the Constitution, he invoked his powers that is found in Section 174. He had the right to appoint the former Judge President of the Gauteng High Court, or the South Gauteng High Court, as Deputy Justice now for the Constitutional Court. So he acted in line with it. There was interviews. Judge Mlambo was subjected to these interviews. And I think he consulted the relevant bodies, which is Parliament, through its representatives, as well as the JSC, who is the custodian or the being oversight over judges and the conduct of judges. So I think he boxes in his appointment.
And just considering that the President mentioned that he also consulted, as we mentioned, the Judicial Service Commission and the political parties. So legally speaking, how much weight do these views carry in such an appointment? And is there perhaps any room for contestation if there is a perception that these consultations were merely procedural?
People might perceive it as procedural, but obviously you want to also have as not being biased, is seen not a sort of half-siding with specific orientation in the country. So people, so that they can also make no president makes a decision, because ultimately the decision lies with the president as to who men to the Constitutional Court. But obviously the president will not finally appoint somebody. He will go on a fact-finding mission and puts that's made by Parliament, as well as the person in the highest court of the country. So I think people might say it's procedural, yes. You look information, say the right decision. Then at a stage, if questioned, why you made that decision.
And speaking of fitness to hold such a very important office, and as someone who has served as Judge President of the Gauteng Division since 2012, how would you assess Justice Mlambo's jurisprudential philosophy and leadership record? And what does this signal perhaps about the kind of Deputy Chief Justice that he might be?
One looks at what was happening in Gauteng, which is one of the busiest courts. He was there from 2012 up until 2025, which means he has had of like over 13 years in the court. Got strong leadership credentials. He's run the court. As I said, it's the busiest court, the biggest court in the and stuff like that, running with so I think he has the administrative abilities, because sitting also at the Constitutional Court as a Deputy Chief Justice, you need to have strong leadership and administrative skills needed for that job. That's the type of job you will. So I think over the years that he do it, capabilities. The only unfortunate thing for me is to the highest court because I think this year is turning 65. You will have a brilliant legal scholar 5 years court where he can actually future of our country.
And also, given that he presided over several politically sensitive cases, do you think his appointment, will sort of strengthen public trust in the judiciary's independence, or might it raise concerns in some quarters about perceived political alignment?
Some places, remember, South Africa, we have got a funny population. We're happy with everything that you're getting. Say that he's maybe politically aligned to a certain view or a certain segment of South Africa, but I think he's set on, and I think he has made the right decisions. If it wasn't the right decisions, people would have appealed it, and it would have ended up in the Constitutional Court or the Supreme Court of Appeal. I think most of the judgments he made, and I think he has good character to actually fulfill that position. But I would echo that just too late bring Justice Mlambo to the Constitutional Court, then he would have had a real 12-year term, a full 12-year term to actually show us really what caliber he holds and what diamond he is to the industry.
You seem to be heaping praises on some of the judgments, he made. Let's talk about some of these past judgments. Do you think those judgments may have made him a particularly attractive choice for the Deputy Chief Justice role at the moment in South Africa's legal and political history?
I would not say it made him a sort of more preferred choice. If then can only work with evidence and the pleadings that's before him or her. Those things, and you have to make a decision based on what's there in front of you. And I think he's the parameters of the law. And people felt unhappy with his decision. They could have taken him on appeal to either a full bench, or Supreme Court of Appeal. And if you don't take him, it means that he actually applied the law. It might be something that you want to hear, but the law correctly, then I room or in questioning and the judgment that the man gave.
Elton Hart, great chatting to you. Thank you so much for joining us, and we can only congratulate Judge Mlambo, and we are waiting to see perhaps some of the biggest institutional challenges that he's likely to face, whether he's well positioned to confront them. But great chatting to you. Thank you so much for sharing your analysis with us.
Thank you.
Well, the presidency made the announcement just a short while ago, just hours after the Constitutional Court held a farewell ceremony for the outgoing acting Deputy Chief Justice Mbuyiseni Madlanga.